By Voicey.network.
All right, guys, we got some technical difficulties going on with our boys over here in the background. Our music's not queuing up and things aren't going right. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Friday Frenzy with your boy TJ Cowboy Capone and Miranda Noyes. No, yes, you made it on time.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
On time? The
What's up,
buttons aren't
brother?
working back here, guys.
What's
The
up,
buttons
brother?
aren't working.
Special teams, special plays. Tuesday.
What is this crap that everybody's doing? I don't get it.
Oh, come on, Marky. You don't know about this?
Look, my kids, I got Skibbity Toilet all day long. I can't get enough of the Skibbity around here, but I have no idea what. I see him. My 12-year-old will run around and he's doing, but no, I don't.
Sketch is literally life.
Dude, yeah, Sketch is the new thing now.
He's the right person everybody made famous.
Dude, I love how he's like, fuck. Sorry, I cussed.
Oh, man. We went to, where were we? We were at a football camp or a school visit, and my son was listening to him for like 2 hours in the passenger seat. And I was like bleeding from the ears. But he's a funny guy. I like Sketch. Get down with Sketch. I saw he got, what's his name? Gardner. No.
Oh, yeah, Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner.
He
got Sauce Gardner on there when
get that Buffalo off the field. Oh my God, that was
that's blowing up here in Annapolis. So before we get started, just quick rundown on like the whole week. So we had Navy gold white game or blue gold game, and we one of the players during signing autographs was like, "What's up, brother?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's taking over everything." And of course, Brandon and I were doing that.
What's up, brother?
Fantastic. Yes. What's up, brother? Christopher. What's up? Got my Storm gear on and the jersey in the background, buddy. Just for you guys. Let's go Storm.
That's right. We got a shout out to the gear over there. Wonderful stuff. Well, yeah, I didn't get to start the show with our standard start, but I did want to bring some information to see if it works now. What's going on here? Right thing. This is broken. Everything's broken back here, guys. Anyway, we'll start it off with the other start that I have prepared for everybody, and this is for you, Brandon. This is for you because
I'm stupid. You're smart. I was wrong. You were right. You're the best. I'm the worst. You're
love
very
to hear
good
it.
looking. I'm not attractive.
all right. That's enough of that. Enough of that.
Okay, yeah, I'll say you just made his head 50 times bigger than it already is. I love Brandon to death, but I'm never going to admit that he was great. No,
he was right though. He had the best week ever. Ever.
Everything
pure luck.
Everything literally happened the way I said it was going to happen.
He's like a seasayer. He's like the magic 8-ball. He's the guy.
Crazy.
And I don't know why. I can't explain it. But he's here. The Das Wunderkind is here for the Orioles, and Jackson Holliday has been called up. Hasn't done anything yet. He does have an RBI, but he's 0 for 8. And I know this because
2 errors too.
Two errors. He's on my fantasy team, but nobody cares about my fantasy team. That's okay. I'll
give him the benefit of the doubt. It's his 2 games into the year, in his new season. So he should keep on this pace that he's been going in the minor leagues. I mean, the kid literally had the fastest track through a minor league system I've ever seen.
He looks like a boy amongst men, though. He doesn't. He doesn't
play in a year. Like
we've seen. I think we've seen.
I don't think
stuff
we've
like
seen
this
that
before. I think so. I think how old was Chris Bryant when he came up? How old was
Brian didn't do that.
He was
bro.
like 21,
he was
22.
21? What,
And this is like the number one prospect, the number one pick in the draft. This is what you hope for when you are drafting a number one overall, kind of like the NFL does with their quarterback. These crappy teams get their quarterback, and it's like, hey, time to take us to the promised land. Like, this is why we chose you. And so far, he's shown all the right things. I mean, it's like I said, it's only 2 games into his major league career, so only time's going to tell.
And the thing is that I like about this whole situation, yeah, he's 0-8, when he first started, but he has a lot of guys who played in, the Orioles organization and just in general. Cal Ripken Jr. was like, yeah, I went 0-7 before I even got my first hit or did something. Adam Jones was like, yeah, I went 0-12 before I started heating up. He's two games in Boston, which, I'll be honest with you, I think that was probably the best time for him to come out is in an AL East divisional game. Boston was handing O's their ass. I mean, those last 2 games, and then the O's came back and smacked them.
That was
Boston just
gifted.
gave them the fucking game after
that. Was the worst defensive performance I've seen us play this year. I mean, the errors and just the decision making was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Dude, and I I've known B for so long, and his family's massive Bo Sox fans. It's fun to watch these games because, yeah, being a local boy, I'll root for the O's, but like there's times where I will root for the Red Sox, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of went for the Red Sox this weekend. Maybe that's why y'all lost, because I was rooting for them just to spoil Jackson Holliday.
So I mean, he did, like, playing in Fenway as your first 2 games, like. It's a different scenery than you are used to seeing. Like, the monster comes into play, the batter's eye out in center comes into play. Obviously, his second error on night 2, that was definitely, you could, like, he just didn't have a feel for what Fenway had and how it played, because it played right there. He thought he was going to go. That ball was going into the stands, and it didn't. Like, it wasn't even close. Yeah. So, stuff like that does matter when you're coming up.
So Andrew Jones was younger when he got called up, and I think he had a faster track, and he's the youngest player to hit a home run in the postseason. So let's see what happens. The Orioles did not bring him up at home. They did do it in Boston.
Braves.
The Braves are one of the greatest franchises ever. It was like, what are you talking about? The Braves ticker. They're a great team.
Come on. Franchises ever.
Yeah, dude, their run, their dominance in the NL during the 90s is remarkable. But what Bobby Cox did is in those consecutive divisions, and okay, they only got 1 World Series out of it. Okay, the best starting 5 or starting 4 pitchers, a starting rotation of guys on staff, right? That they had greatness in prime. Deion Sanders playing baseball and then taking a helicopter to go play some football. Come on.
Oh, prime.
Good old prime.
I still don't think when I say MLB, in the history of the MLB, I don't think of Atlanta Braves right off the bat. No.
Sound like bitter Boston people.
No. You could name.
No, if I think MLB, like, if you were to go to somebody who's never seen a game and you go MLB, the first time they're probably going to say like Yankees or Dodgers. Like, I feel like those are the 2 that are automatically going to come up. Mm-hmm. I would never say Atlanta Braves unless they like brainwashed down south.
No, not as like a go-to. No. Recent years, yes. Within the last 20 years, yes. Or 30.
All right. Well, agree to disagree. Team with the most division titles. Let's see what we bring up. The Braves have 23. The Dodgers have 21. So they dominated their division in their entirety. Now they don't have the 27 rings, but they've dominated their. They dominate
those equate to.
Well, I mean, how far down the line before you get to the Oakland A's, who are number 4 on the list with 17 division titles? Their most recent was only 4 years ago, but that's a team that doesn't even have a home and don't. That's they're the laughing stock, right?
I mean, I think Oakland's just known for moments. Like they're not really known. Like Oakland, I think, has moments for what they're known for.
Well, all right. I mean, cool. I understand. Agree to disagree, but baseball is a romantic sport where they talk about the statistics and the history, and you got to put the Braves up there as one of the best franchises ever. And when you look at, okay, they don't have the titles, but they have dominance. They have Hall of Famers. They are who we thought they were. Anyway, I digress. Another big hit that our boy Brandon had was the greatest WrestleMania of all time, and he called it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
That was amazing. That was quite amazing to watch. Not knowing they were going to bring out The Undertaker was probably the most raddest part, aside from Cody winning. But like hearing that gong and them putting out pictures of like people that could come back. You got Stone Cold, Cena obviously came back, but anticipating Stone Cold to come out after The Rock did, and then just hearing the gong of probably one of the, if not second most recognizable sound in the world, like that was insane.
So a lot of people were upset that it wasn't Stone Cold, and they're like, well, why is the Undertaker there? What's his point? And like, do people not understand? Like, he wrestled everybody but he wrestled everybody in the bloodline, including Reigns and The Rock and Yokozuna, Rikishi. Like, it was a perfect setup. I prefer it over Stone Cold.
The amount of storylines that was just in that last match when all of that was happening was epic. Like, you had the Cena and Rock back at it again. You had obviously the Undertaker and The Rock, and then you had Cena and Roman for just that split second, and then him and Solo, and then when Seth comes out, you got Roman hitting Seth in the back with a chair over their feud in the Shield times, and then the Cody
going through the rope the same way, they choreographed that really well.
Did that I feel like a lot of stories were ended right there. That was like a vibe that I got. Was like, all right, this is, if Cody's story is coming to an end, these stories that are all of this that is happening right now has got to come to an end.
And that's the part of wrestling that a lot of people don't understand. Like, they just see it as like predetermined endings to wrestling and theatrics or whatever, but they don't know like the in-ring storytelling and how, then you go real, nerd when you talk about things like that. But that's what makes people love wrestling and continue to watch wrestling for 40 years of WrestleMania. That's a great, they've done that really, really well.
It's the most popular I think I've ever seen it in my lifetime. Like, it was obviously popular in the 90s, and then when the Cena was coming in and Batista, all these guys were coming in, Randy, it started getting popular. But now what has happened in these, just the creation that these people are putting out, seeing it now grow and get popular within the celebrities, and now these people you just wouldn't really see at these type of events, going to live shows, coming back and being like, holy shit, that was awesome. Was obviously, it's predetermined, but those guys are doing everything live. All of that is live, and I mean, you can see it in some matches that just just that little, they had Cody and Roman had one in their night match Saturday night where it was definitely a miss timing, because Roman went left and Cody was looking right, and he ended up hitting him with his shoulder. And they kind of said that in with Michael Cole, but just seeing that like
a bad spot, like a botch.
Yeah, just like a bad spot, and them doing it live. And then if they get hurt, how are they gonna have to choreograph this when somebody's hurt, actually hurt? And
Seth couldn't walk at the end. Seth couldn't walk at the end. He was being helped out.
And I think that's why they gave up his title. I don't think they were going to give it up until he got hurt Saturday night, because the way he looked at that belt Sunday, you could just tell that title was gone. He was losing that title. And then him not being able to stand, him sitting on the ropes was like, yeah, that's and him crying when he lost. Like that was a real moment.
Yeah.
Well, see, I also think like it goes as well with like, you know, when he was leaving the rink, you could see as he's leaving, you know, he looks at Drew and he's like, you fucking deserve that. Like, you know, cool. Yeah, he deserves it. You know, it was hard work. The new era that we're in for WWE is, you know, it's here. It's the Triple H era. You know, he's taken over. But I also think, you know, Seth knew that CM Punk was going to ruin it for Drew. So I think also that's kind of why he was emotional, because him and CM Punk still have that animosity towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I'll be honest with you, that this weekend was the best. You know, Marco and you and I kind of talked about it just a little bit on Tuesday with hot takes. But dude, I feel like this was one of the best WrestleManias I've watched. I mean, match for match, it was great. I'll tell you what really kind of confused me a little bit was Saturday. Why they started out with the Rhea and Becky match was something that I didn't understand. If they did that 6-pack match first, I would have been a lot happier. And then, you know, you would just go into titles, and then you would have the
ladder match,
3 girls. No, well, yeah, it was that ladder match for the titles, but you do the tag titles. Then I'd say you probably put, you know, maybe the real one would be the first match, and then you just go through the rest of the night. You know, then you got that tag team with Jade Cargill and all of them, and then you end it with that tag team with, you know, Roman and all them. Like Sunday, dude, I think it was perfect the way they had everything lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought everything was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome seeing just a massive change. Like you could just feel that change coming where Drew won it. Okay, now Mr. Money in the Bank comes in, wins. Boom. You know, okay, cool. Bailey won against, you know, Io Sky. That was huge. And, you know, now we got Cody. Cody wins. I mean, Sami Zayn beating Gunther.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Dude, I did not see that coming.
I didn't think they were going to switch that right now because Gunther was still doing really good. I mean, his story is kind of getting a little bland, because I think it's just because of that title that he owns. It's not really a, you know,
it's not one of them titles.
It's well known, but it's not like, okay, we need to focus on this title and this storyline, and you know who's going to be in it and who's going to fight this and that. Yeah, that's not really a priority. The Saturdays was kind of weird. I still don't get why they got, like you said, started off with Rhea's. That was just, and I feel like they could have done Cody and Roman's match a little more exciting, because I feel like at the end of that Saturday, you knew Cody was winning Sunday, especially when they said bloodline rules. Like you knew that was coming. So
I feel like why it was on Saturday. Why theirs was first on Saturday. Motionless in White had a concert in Philadelphia literally an hour before they came on, or an hour after they came on with Rhea. So they literally had to do that performance really fast, pack up, and then go literally like 8 blocks up. And they were doing a concert for him. That's why.
Troy seems to think that Gunther is in line for Cody. Where do you think the story goes next? Do you think it's going to be Gunther? Do you think they're going to milk The Rock for however many months he's not filming a movie?
Announced today that there's two triple threats or something like that tonight, and the winner of those face off, and then who wins that is going to face Cody. So, and I don't think Gunther's not in those matches.
Any of those matches?
No,
that's SmackDown tonight, right?
Yeah,
I'll take a look. Cool. I love it.
Wayne was great, Troy. I don't know what you're talking about. That Wayne part was
dude.
Awesome.
That was I'm not gonna lie. When he came out, I was not expecting him to be with Jay. And then when he started yeeting with Jay, dude, I yeeted. I started I watched it the next night with my daughter and my son, and we were laying in bed. And I looked at my wife and I like took my little kid's hand and he's yeeting with me. Paisley's yeeting, like we're all just having fun. Like it's literally just like the best like the best character you will ever have is Jey Uso's yeet. Like it was. I loved it, and the fact that he brought Lil Wayne out there was perfect. I mean, I don't think I would have had anybody else out there.
That was awesome.
Okay, Troy, it may have been horrible in your eyes.
That was awesome.
Us youngins remember
What's
Lil Wayne.
What's really surprising too is how like as much as I don't like the guy on camera, besides his podcast, Logan Paul is actually really fucking good.
Dude, I'm in the tank for Logan Paul, and I think
he is really good.
He needs to get a push.
Like he is a freak athlete. Like I mean, all of his matches have been phenomenal. I still believe if he didn't get hurt during Roman, he would have beat him. They were ready to go that route, I think.
So here's the triple threat matchups that they have. It's Rey Mysterio, I thought he was done, versus AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. The winner of that is going to face the winner of LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, and Santino Escobar. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at an LA Knight versus Kevin Owens?
Bobby and Escobar out. I don't understand why they're in that. Maybe just to have somebody in that. Because the LA Knight and AJ Styles thing is still real. Like that's still going on. If I had to take a guess, I'm gonna say LA Knight is gonna go against AJ Styles in the finals, and then they should go on with the LA Knight and move him up there, give him another chance because he's pretty over right now too still. So
yeah,
if I had to guess, man.
I'm in the tank for LA Knight. I hope he gets the. I hope he gets the pull. Get distracted by our friend Troy. Troy, open invitation. You want to dial in? If you need a link, let me know. We'll get you in here, buddy. Friend of the show. Come on in. So so wrestling's still hot. I don't know if it's hotter than when The Rock and Wyclef Jean were dropping top 10 Billboard hits and Macho Man was making rap songs. I mean, now we have the Hollywood aspect where everybody goes to make a movie, but that's,
I mean, with it going to Netflix though, that's where it really intrigues me of where they're going to start going in this Triple H era. Cause like Netflix, totally. They are going to be so free to say whatever they want. I mean, The Rock is literally giving us sneak previews of that, just dropping F-bombs all the time.
So here's the thing, right? So he dropped the F-bomb on Saturday. Sunday, they were there with the drop button and they were editing everything out. And because the rules state, the FCC rules, you get one F-bomb for a PG-13 rating. Anything more than that, you got to go R-rated. Is that what had Triple H so upset at the end of the show on Sunday? I don't know if you saw that. There's a lot of things that on X we're talking about.
He said before though that like The Rock is a professional. I mean, he's done this for long, so he knows what he can get away with. And he's their owner, like he's their boss. He's
a board member. He's a board member, but they can get rid of board members. You can make mistakes.
But with him being on the board and knowing they were going to go the Netflix route, it just made sense of why he was doing and saying what he was. Cause it's just like, I think it's trying to build everything up and draw in more people. Cause like Triple H said, and I believe one of his, he was on Logan's podcast. He was like, there was a time where they were PG, but they were like G, they were G, and they need to get back those veteran, audience members, people like us growing up in, the Attitude Era and then coming out of the Attitude Era and still being really good. But I feel like since COVID, it's been a really dull product up until this point, obviously.
Yeah. They definitely bounced back from COVID really good. They definitely took care of AEW really well.
Well, what about that? What about Monday night? With that little teaser, Uncle Howdy coming back.
Oh,
Uncle Howdy's coming back.
Raw. I did not get a chance to watch Raw on Monday, so I did not see that.
It was actually pre-show before everything started. People were posting videos of pre-show of like the static on the Megatron, like that was hanging up, and it was saying hello, and then at the very bottom you could see the silhouette of Uncle Howdy. And then it cut off, and then here come the announcers. But then, like, in the middle of one of the interviews that they had, it did the same thing, like that static. But then you saw the picture of Alexa Bliss, and then you saw a picture of the Fiend, the old Fiend. New Fiend was at the bottom, and then Uncle Howdy again saying hello. I'm very interested in what they're going to do with Bo Dallas, because he was one of the guys that, you know, said, I want to bring this back. Like, I want this to happen. Let's see what we can do. I don't know if it's too fresh of a wound to bring stuff like that back, but a lot of people are asking for it. I mean, like, his little area in the WrestleMania show, or like area, what was it? Yeah, right here.
So this is this tweet has since been deleted. But so I don't know. Is he going to be back? That's definitely designed. That's from the WWE. I don't think it was hacked. That's a work. He's coming back. And
my thing is this: so like when for WrestleMania weekend, you know, like I said, Bray Wyatt's little area they had there at the Superstore was the most walked area. I mean, and granted, yeah, his documentary just came out and everybody's been watching it. They want to see everything. But I mean, like, they also revealed the new Fiend that was going to come out if Bray was still with us. Like, I mean, it was awesome that his father and his uncle got inducted into the Hall of Fame. That was great with the US Express was perfect. Let's see what they have this year. I think Uncle Howdy comes back. He wins that title, and we're going to find somebody who can be the Fiend. I see it happening.
So they would keep the gimmick?
I think they would
if they bring him back.
Yeah, if they bring Uncle Howdy back, I feel like they would mutinize the Fiend more. So it would be something completely different, because you have to think the way that Bray Wyatt's mind went, he probably had something lined up for one of his buddies. I mean, fuck, I'd give it to Braun Strowman. That dude's a freak as it is. Have him dress up as a Fiend, or, you know. Yeah, I do too. That's one guy that I miss.
Can we also talk about how, like, if they go to Netflix, can we just get a camera? It could be like posted up in the corner of like your TV or your monitor or wherever you're gonna watch it, of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee.
Oh gosh,
commentating.
Oh, dude, yes.
These two together are fucking hilarious, because Pat is just so natural and just like, he doesn't read paper, he just says what is on his mind. And some of the stuff that he says and the reactions that he gets out of Michael Cole are amazing.
It's great.
Like, those two need a camera on themselves. They had one I saw today that had Drew was fighting, I think, Jay, and he was up on the table and he was getting ready to yeet, and Drew was mad. He told Pat to sit down, and Michael Cole's like, Pat, like, seriously, you should sit down.
You want to sit down.
Sit down right now. And then he gets down out of the ring, comes over, and he's like grabbing a chair, and he is like hiding behind Michael Cole, like, oh shit, like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And he ends up going over and hitting the pole. Oh my god, that was a hilarious clip.
Oh, good stuff. All right, back to baseball, fellas.
Did you see the update on Shohei?
They're just gonna sweep it under the rug, right?
So no, he's been interviewed or questioned by the feds, and come to find out that he was calling the banks, impersonating Shohei. And that is why he was able to get the money and access his account. He won like over $140 million gambling. He lost $182 million. So my thing is, how are you able to get away with calling these banks and interpreting Shohei? Like, I don't know how you were able to get away with.
I don't know. Does Shohei Ohtani sound like?
I haven't really heard the guy talk or either one of them speak.
Right? I mean,
so I don't even know. Couldn't even tell you what Shohei sounds like.
He probably could take that much money.
Well, I don't know. You probably. I just don't think you can call the bank. I don't know. They deal with different banks.
And they said
he didn't go to the Chase. He didn't go to Chase. They go to a different.
Right. And they said that Shohei they gave the feds his phone. They looked through his phone. They have all the audio from these calls between his interpreter and the banks. And they have found that, for one, Shohei wasn't involved with it at all. And two, that this guy was impersonating Shohei and calling these banks. Like, I mean, unless they sound alike, I just don't get how you're able to call the banks and
you can't just call a bank and move that kind of money. I mean, I
did you also
gotta remember 18 passwords to freaking pay my mortgage.
Right, and you got to think like they're gonna ask you probably some personal shit, taking out the amount of money that he was taking out. You know,
that's
like
why
birthday, Social Security.
Like, a different bank, man.
I mean, unless he's sitting there on his phone, like having all of this info, like just willingly. Yeah, he's facing up to like 30 years in prison too.
Well, did you also see that he was buying like thousands of dollars worth of baseball cards and trying to flip those? Like he would save like Shohei like certain baseball cards to make it look like, okay, you know, they're buying these cards as like friends, trading them, doing whatever. But it's like he bought thousands of dollars worth of like very valuable baseball cards to flip them, try to make, you know, an easy buck here and there to make it look legit. And Shohei's like, yeah, like I was wondering why they were like certain baseball cards coming into my locker.
But isn't he like his boy? Aren't they? Don't they have like
right? That's what's like crazy.
Just like they've been friends for lifetime friends or something like that.
Yeah, they've been.
He's gonna take the fall so hard for him.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna. I mean, he's obviously fired, but he placed 19,000 bets between December 2021 and to January of this year. 19,000.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-THE-GAMBLER. Thank you.
Holy cow. But like that goes to quite raise the question too of like, if you're Shohei, are you not questioning? I mean, they said he knew he had a gambling, but I guess, I mean, you're the guy stealing money out of your fucking bank account, dude.
I just
don't
know how. I don't know how.
I'll get that.
Yeah, I don't know. Ignorance is bliss, and they're just gonna let that go. But I think they need to ban Ohtani. I said it. That's my.
For what? He had no involvement. They have proof.
Yeah, they're gonna have proof. They're gonna have proof. The FBI is gonna have proof. Or
they really went through his phone. The feds went through his phone.
So how do the feds? How do the feds know? How do the feds know that it's him impersonating him and it's not really him? What if it is him? What if he wasn't stealing it? If the bank thought it was him, how does the feds know that it's not him? Super secret TV, FBI.
They probably literally
voice
have
recognition
that,
software.
Right.
Yeah.
So like they can scan.
You want to borrow my tinfoil hats?
They can scan his interpreter's voice and then scan Shohei's and realize, hey, it's not real.
See, you're in the tank for tinfoil stuff. I'm sending you a tinfoil hat, buddy. I don't get it. How the feds can be like, oh, that's not Shohei. Yeah, no, it's a conspiracy to cover it all up.
The same way the feds tell us that we landed on the moon too.
Yeah.
Way back then.
So
we're able. I am a 100% believer in that, because the time that took place, we did not have the technology to transmit that thousands of miles back to Earth, and there's no light up there either, and everything was extremely bright. And
welcome to the club, everybody. This is Brandon Noyes. He's getting fitted for his tinfoil hat today, and we're going to be talking on Monday about the moon landing. Oh, I love it. How you can go from the moon to Nixon's desk. And
there's another conspiracy.
Landline phone. That's good stuff.
Well, like 2 or 3 that I'm in for that. Yeah, we can go into another time.
I love it. All right, back to baseball. Why are the Yankees always good?
Hi, Shaq.
What? Whoa! Hit live show. Streaker. Turn the camera off. Why are the Yankees the best team in baseball right now? A week and a half in, 10-3. What the heck is going on, guys? Why do they do this every year?
You know, I think what it is the fact that with. Okay, good. I'm not muted. I muted myself real quick, but I I think what it is, the fact that the Yankees brought in Juan Soto, they have all this stuff that's going on, and with that, they want to see how well this team can mesh with Verdugo coming in. They had Volpe. Volpe was a huge part of this whole situation last year. So we trying to figure everything out with them. But honestly, dude, I think with the Yankees, it's definitely as Troy said, it's money. Money's where it's at, and
but
I
they
think
even
that's
lose
how
an
they're-
ace.
they're-
They've lost an ace. We'll see if it comes back to bite them. A couple of starts down the road when they don't have Cole, pitching for them. But I mean, they're not missing a beat. They haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, no. I honestly, I think the way when you look at this whole situation with the Yankees, the AL East right now is very. I don't want to say soft, but they're very slow to start. Towards the end of the season is where you're going to see everything going. I didn't see the O's. Never foresaw the O's sweeping the Red Sox this week. That was big because the Red Sox had the best ERA in the MLB. I mean, bar none, they had the best ERA.
Well, I mean, again, early season was early, and you got to go through your lumps. But I think at season start, I would have picked if the O's to sweep or win that series for sure. I was not shocked by that. I would definitely put the O's ahead of them in the standings. As it finishes out, I hope that this new balanced schedule doesn't really screw over what we were used to seeing. When teams battle out against each other 20 times a season, ending the season against division rivalries, things end up evening out. But I don't, I don't know. The Yankees, you gotta jump out to the early start.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. You got to jump out to an early start. That's important part. You got to play run differential baseball. I say that every year. You got to score more runs than your opponents to win, and you got to score a lot more runs throughout the season to stay competitive. And hopefully, the Yankees fall back down because everybody hates.
See, but okay, you know what? I'm gonna say this right now. You posted something in our Facebook group about the Astros being 2-10. Okay, it's a slow start. We still have how many games left in the season? You guys are going to bite them words, and you're going to bite them hard. Will the Astros win the rest of the games? Nowhere close. But a slow start's a slow start. I mean, there were teams last year that
start that Brown had against the freaking Royals yesterday was brutal. See, some people have never even seen that 121 ERA in fantasy. Nobody cares about your fantasy team, but I started them and got obliterated. But look, you're right. It's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And will the Astros come through? If they still got trash cans in the stadium, they still have a chance, right? That's what they say.
They're not metal anymore. They're actually plastic, and you can't hit them because they're behind bars now.
And the buzzer and the camera and all that stuff.
They have EMPs in the stadium, so they hit it every time. So you know what? All you guys can suck.
Speaking of changes, things and technologies, the pitch clock injuries. So how serious is this? Everybody's talking about it, right? Except for the commissioner and the powers that be are saying that it's just, maybe it's the schedule, maybe it's rushing in from spring training and then go, maybe they need to stretch spring training out, which I don't believe. I think we just need to start the season later, to be honest. Season used to start now, mid-April, not in freaking March. But my guy Strider, take it back to the Braves, right? Might be looking at another bout of Tommy John, Garrett Cole, a couple other pitchers out there. Is it the pitch clock or is it the pitchers? Is it throwing hard and the human body?
I think it's a little bit of both. That pitch clock really presses you to get yourself set immediately after that first pitch. And we said this a few weeks ago when I was talking about Framber Valdez of the Astros. before the pitch clock came in, he had a very long windup. He would like rock the baby, get himself ready, and then he would throw. And that gave him time. And that gave his shoulder to kind of recuperate from, freaking piss missling everything down the middle. I think when we really look at how the pitch clock is, it is rushing these athletes, these freak athletes that can put their arms in angles that I only wish I could ever put my arm in and throw the ball 90 plus miles an hour straight down the middle. You need that time to recuperate, and that's what that was. Without the pitch clock, dude, you can see a dude just his arm would be jello, and he would come back, catch the ball, let his arm rest, turn around, put rosin on his hand, whatever, put something on his hand, the powder, look at the pitch, look at the catcher, get his pitch in, he'd look, take a couple seconds, all right, and then he throws. I'm fine with that. But now you're getting these guys going out with injuries because they're rushed. You're rushing the pitch. You're literally making that muscle so hot that it has that tendency to be very loose. And once you have that one throw will ruin everything. And that's what it is. So, we're just, we're little pieces of dust right now, and we can complain about the MLB all we want, but it needs to be said that this is what is killing these pitchers is the pitching clock.
Well, it's pushing the limits of the human body to do these things and then not giving them the ability to recuperate. Whether maybe the pitch clock is just a little bit too short. Maybe it needs to be 25 seconds, like a shot clock. Maybe they need to fix that. That could be a solution, but that's what it is. It's definitely pushing the limits of the human body just a little bit, too far.
Well, so you went to not to change the subject, but you went to a Brewers game last year, right?
No, I went to a Cubs game in Milwaukee.
Okay, well, same fucking Jesus. So when we went to Camden Yards last year, and we were watching the game, I noticed that when they're running on the field, a clock starts and you have X, Y, and Z amount of time to get your players in their spot by that time.
Yep.
That's speeding that up. Keep that, take the pitch clock away.
Yeah.
Take the pitch clock away.
Again, maybe it's too short. Maybe, 30 seconds would be better.
Agree with Troy.
You give, but then again, it's also for the batters too, right? It's a batter clock as well. You have pitchers that come in the quick pitch, and the batters are up there, Nomar Garcia parrying it and doing their thing and whatever. So you got to be able to really level the playing field. So, if you're sitting there and you're the batter and you're ready, you want to be able to call timeout. You want to be able to mess with the flow of the pitcher, what they're getting into. So it's a catch-22. I just think that we're seeing these injuries. I think it is a result of the pitch clock needing to be pulled a little bit more. 25, 30 seconds could be a little bit better. 30 seconds might be too long in the sake of, speeding up the game. Yeah. So that's the pitch clock injuries. What about the new base obstruction rule? Have you seen that? Have you seen these issues where you can't be? They're calling runners safe because this happened early with the Mets and Lindor. Guy was stealing second, made the tag, looked beautiful. There was no collision, there was nothing, but they called him safe and said that there was obstruction of the base. It's a new rule this year, even though they have this giant base the size of an extra large pizza box sitting out there. You can't be in the path of the runner to make the tag.
I think that's smart, but the thing is though, like I want to kind of agree with you with the same for the other one. It's a catch-22. A lot of people love watching, these outstanding plays where, guys diving between the legs and he's touching the bag or, hitting the guy's bottom of the cleat, making a double play. Are they also counting it for home plate? Because home plate, dude, that's where you see the rough. So it is on the home plate as well.
Home plate. They've been dealing with the home plate collisions for a long time now.
Because I still remember when Buster Posey got just annihilated and tore both of his ACLs and broke his leg.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember that very well. I think, with this, yes, it's a massive player safety thing. I get that. At the same time, like, I'm not gonna lie, like when I used to watch the old school baseball and you see those guys third base hustling and the catcher's in the way, dude, I would clobber the shit out of them.
Yeah.
You can't stop a freight train. It doesn't take 2 steps to stop, a big boy. I mean, some of us bigger dudes that are DHing, when you're running down the home base line, I'm not gonna like just plant my foot 1-2 and stop. No, I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna run through you until I hit that freaking wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a catcher. I loved it. I was a football player too. So, I was
Exactly.
ready. I was prepared, but, yeah, that's when they Troy bringing in, that's when they did it. The Posey plays when they stopped, those collisions at home plate. I remember it well. And then, second base and the hard slides and all that stuff is coming, post Chase Utley broken leg, situation and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a collision. It's a contact sport. I say, where football is a collision sport, hockey is a collision sport, baseball and basketball they're contact sports. Sorry, I'm boring you. They're gonna, they're gonna, you have an element of contact and collisions and injury is going to happen. But such is sport. You can't turn it into, flag baseball or, cricket. Is there contact in cricket? I don't think there's
100%.
contact. Is there contact in cricket? I don't think there is contact in cricket.
Contact in cricket.
There's no contact in cricket.
There's contact in cricket.
I don't think so. Who's getting hit in cricket?
Aren't you?
No, they have all that stuff on because the ball comes like right at them. Like you can throw it literally at the batter, and that's legal, as long as it's there. Cricket is not a contact sport. Injuries occur over overuse, but there's no contact in cricket. That's why they don't. They wear that stuff because the ball can get right at them. You want to get it right at their belly button. Cricket's fun. Cricket's fun. Oh, cricket's fun. I learned more downloading an app on on Google Play and mindlessly swiping, but it's like baseball, and it's really fun. It's really fun. Big fan in the tank for cricket. I would join a cricket bar league, but I feel like the equipment is probably very expensive. As a matter of fact, I saw some kids playing cricket down the street. I was driving somewhere and these kids had a cricket paddle and they were playing cricket like we would play with the rubber ball back in the day. Down
at so RFK has these new like all-purpose fields. They have a cricket field at RFK now. Yeah.
I'm in the tank for cricket. Every couple of years they'll bring in some cricket player, because they can throw really hard, but you can't bend your elbow when you pitch, or I don't know if it's called a pitch, but you can't bend your elbow.
Like, so overhand it.
So it's tough on the rotator cuff, but you don't, they bring them in and then it's like, well, you got to do this, and that doesn't translate well. I bet a cricket player would make a mean right fielder.
Oh, 100%.
making that throw to third. That's where you want to put the cricketer.
I would put him
cricketeer. I'm gonna
I'd probably put him center field.
Center field, because the way they field, their field is so huge and so vast. I would put a cricketer at center field.
Oh yeah,
and they catch with no mitt, so you could probably have a good cricketer at third base. Play a little hot corner.
Yeah.
Make that throw. Yeah. We could do that. All right.
Oh yeah.
Sign us up. Cubs, Astros. We're going to scout out for cricket and send us to Bangladesh, and we'll bring in the best right fielder you ever
Australia. Dude, Australians. There's this it's weird that you literally right before the show I started watching like a cricket TikTok. And there's this Australian dude, he's like 6'7", just made a gorgeous one-handed grab. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's actually kind of cool. Never could I get into cricket. But it looks kind of cool.
Dude, their matches last forever too.
Yes.
Like a cricket match, like they They go for like hours.
Yeah.
40 total playing time was 43 hours in South Africa in 1939, but okay, it still happened. 10 days. 8 days of rain. Oh, that doesn't count. Come on, internet. You know what I was asking. Anyway, yeah, those games go on for a long time.
Yeah.
That's cricket, and that's our baseball for the week. Let's what else are we in the tank for? Oh, is anything happening in the NFL? Let me get rid of that.
Yes. Did you hear about the Bears denying 3 potential people moving up to take number 1 spot?
Yeah, why? I mean, they're in the tank for Caleb. So yeah, they're. I mean, unless it's a super mother load, I even still think that they're completely haunted by the ghost of Patrick Mahomes. Whether or not Patrick Mahomes would have been the pick, but that's who they missed, right? The fact that they were not going to be, they're not going to be scoring again like that. They're going to go for the perennial super talent.
Yep. And I think it's so okay. Oh, you have somebody else in here?
Friend of the show, Troy Garner.
Goodness.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh,
What
wait,
is
sorry.
up?
I shouldn't be in here because I'm an Astros fan. I'm just gonna get beat up now.
No, I'm just. Hey, let me see if I can get some light on here a second. See if that helps. I was just in the car. I'm waiting for a food pickup order here, so that's why I was BSing with you. I was at the park throwing football with my kid. He went off to play in the playground, and I jumped on your live stream there for a little bit. So I figured I'd jump in here while I'm waiting for my food.
Right on, buddy. Right on. We just
What do we? So hold on. What are we in the tank for food? What are we eating right now? What are we ordering?
Just a regular pizza joint. We're all just getting kind of like kids' meals. Like the kids are getting like chicken tenders, burgers, and I got like a cheeseburger sub. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cheeseburger subs out that way. I don't know if that's just an East Coast thing. I don't know.
yeah, we have cheeseburgers and we have subs, but we don't really put them together.
Yeah. So what?
Dude, cheeseburger subs are the best.
Yes, 100%, 100%. So it's just a cheeseburger, but you throw it on a sub roll. You put some mayonnaise in there. You got the lettuce, onion, tomato, whatever, and it's basically a burger, but in a sub roll. You know?
Yeah. We do that at home all the time.
Yeah, I'll say if you ever come and hang out with me, Marco, I'm gonna get you the best cheeseburger sub on the Eastern Seaboard.
All right,
and I make it myself.
So I just saw when I jumped on here, I saw you guys were doing NFL draft talk. Did you bring up the whole Rashee Rice thing?
Not yet. We have not talked about Rashee Rice.
Well, the only reason I brought that up is because I didn't know if you were going to bring that up and tie that into the draft. Because they're obviously going to have to look at a receiver, right?
Well, yeah, they're going to draft Jerry Rice's kid. They're going to give him number 4, and we're not going to know the difference. So we're going to get Brendan Rice. We're going to give him number 4, and we're going to nothing happen. Everything's fine. Just ignore the problem, and it'll go away.
Dude, what is wrong with these kids? What is wrong with them?
They're invincible.
You know, yes, it's the money. The money gets to your head. You buy these stupidly fancy cars, and then when you're like, hey, I'm invincible. I have NFL, people know me through the NFL. I have these endorsement deals. I can go 130 down the road. Ain't nothing going to touch me until, oops, I hit somebody, and it could be manslaughter.
Yep.
Yeah. And, a lot of people, at least in Chiefs Twitter, think like, oh, nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine. He's cooperating. Dude, they suspended Willie Gay for 4 games for breaking his own vacuum cleaner. This guy is going to be in trouble.
There's going to be some sort of suspension. Definitely. I mean,
100%.
Yes.
100%.
It might be only half a season. I don't know, but it's going to be something.
It's going to be 10 plus games.
And it's something that we've said before. Has nobody learned from Henry Ruggs what the hell speed does in a fancy car?
Yes.
I mean, the dude's rotting in prison right now. Will never put an NFL uniform on unless they make the longest yard in real life. And, the dude, like Henry Ruggs, I'm going to say this right now, would have been an A1 receiver no matter who he played for. Yes, he was with the Raiders. Yes, they were in Vegas. Vegas is very temptation for everything.
But what would have happened? He would have got sick of being there after 2 years. They would have traded him to a good team, and he would have been good to go, right?
No, they probably would have won more games. They would have won more games. They would have had a better record. They would have. You never know, right? When you get rid of a super talented, wide receiver like that, you have possibilities. unless you're the 07 Patriots. But what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? These kids don't learn. Or you learn the hard way. You got to be the example of you got to surround yourself with the right guys. You got out of a car with 4 guys.
Yep.
None of those kids had the sense to be like, bad idea. Let's not do it. Stop, slow down. And that's what there was a video of Coach Saban talking to his guys. And like Henry Ruggs was a great kid, great player, great person, but nobody took his keys away. Nobody said, hey, you've had too much to drink. Nobody said, this is what you got to do, and step up and be the adult in the room, or the Jiminy Cricket, white angel on the shoulder. And you continue to surround yourself with these, with these entourages of people. Why don't you have a fall guy, bro?
Yep.
Get an interpreter, do something. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them a lot. Thankfully, nobody died, so
yes,
maybe he'll be a battle hawk or a renegade, and he'll have a chance in the USFL. But the NFL, probably not.
Just crazy to think how he went from being a rookie, kind of being a secondary option, and by the end of the season, he was Mahomes' go-to guy. I mean, other than Kelsey, obviously, but still, like as far as receiver, he was in line to be the X receiver for sure.
Yep.
Well, see, and I'm wondering too, like with this whole situation with him, all the eyes were on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and then Patrick Mahomes and his fatty Mahomes body now, and like all this other stuff going on. All the eyes, were on the superstars. Yes, Rashid Rice was a superstar, and he did come on very fast in that second half of the season. Well-known player, I was very surprised with how well he was doing. I'm wondering if, like, mentally he's like, okay, all the eyes are that way, so let me do something stupid.
No.
It's the crew. It's the crew he is hanging out with.
Yeah, and he's been doing that.
Get the fuck away from him.
He's been a customer of that, exotic car rental place since he was at SMU. So it's not his first time doing 120 down that expressway. He probably thought he knew what he was doing. He had to, he had it going on. But I don't know. There's a lot of buzz of the Chiefs trading up, getting some, there's a lot of guys that are falling. Joe Alt is a guy that I'd love to see. His dad's a Hall of Fame Chief. His his stock seems to be dropping because we get some guys for some reason are jumping up in the stock doing nothing, and I don't know how and I don't know why. Maybe Brandon, can you tell me why is JJ McCarthy shooting up? Now I hear him getting
his pro day and his combine. He had a really good combine and a really good pro day. I mean, he's got really good feet in the pocket.
He's the most NFL ready quarterback right now, in my opinion.
Yes, 100%.
Even more NFL ready than Caleb. Caleb, remember his Heisman year was not last year, it was the year before.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. Does he have a higher ceiling? I definitely think he does.
Yes.
But I think JJ McCarthy, JJ's one of those guys where you know what your floor is, and it's going to be a good, solid floor.
Yeah, his tangibles are just, I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm. He's accurate. He knows how to lead a team. It's just, he's probably, him and Jaden are like the two that are being talked about the most right now. I mean, obviously there's Caleb, but his story has kind of been, Caleb's has been the same this whole time, but Jaden and JJ with all these teams of, hey, could JJ go up to New England? Is Jaden Daniels going to go to Washington because his coach said so in the end of one of his things? Like, it's this type of stuff that's making these two guys just fluctuate and have so many people's draft stocks just way off. Like, they don't even know what to do because it's a constant change.
And that's why guys like Jalen Carter last year from the Eagles, or from where did he go? Oh my God,
Bulldogs.
The Dogs.
He was a Bulldog.
That's why he fell to the Eagles, because you got guys jumping up for these quarterbacks and these receivers. All of a sudden, right before the draft, they jump up, and you get good, solid guys that, for whatever reason, people don't like building on the lines of those early picks, but they should. And then you get guys like that fall to the teams that already are loaded.
Yep.
So I'm not going to put names out there right now because I don't want to get him in trouble. But I do have a acquaintance. I will not say anything other than that. That says JJ McCarthy is in DC right now, and DC is very willing to do whatever to get him instead of Caleb Williams now.
That's a hot take.
My thing is,
Caleb's going number one, so why
Caleb's
does
going
Washington
one.
Yeah, I
have
was just
to
gonna
go?
say,
You don't
what is-
have to
they're not
go.
gonna have
You don't have
to
anything to
Caleb.
do with that.
Because there was
And they're
no,
not
there
going
was
to take. They're not going to take JJ over Jaden if they have the chance.
there was
no.
rumor that Washington put up a huge bounty to get up to number one because they wanted Williams.
Yep.
There was a lot of talk that Caleb Williams is going to go there, but then Chicago is they're in the tank. They're not deviating from this whatsoever.
There was somebody had a draft prediction on ESPN that I saw that they have 1 through 5 as QBs in order: Caleb, Jaden, Drake, everybody in order. The offensive tackle from Notre Dame, and they have Malik up at 6, which is interesting because Malik going 6 means Harrison probably falls down to like 8, which is held by Chicago. So Chicago could potentially get the best quarterback in the draft and the best wide receiver. That would be interesting. That would help out Caleb a lot. That would help out Chicago a lot offensively. Gives them a big weapon they can go to. But it's crazy that these people have Malik over Marvin Harrison. I don't understand that.
Is he bigger?
Yeah, I think body wise, yeah.
Right.
But Marvin's been the best wide receiver in college, without a doubt since he started. So there's been no question. So I don't understand it. Maybe it's because Marvin didn't do a pro day and didn't do a combine.
And I think he's got some medical issues. They're about the same size: 210, 205, 6'4", 6'3", or 6.
Yeah.
What's
And I really think Malik is like just bigger body mass wise because Marvin's not really he's not a big guy. He's kind of like a T. Higgins type build or like a Randy Moss build. He's just tall and he can go up and get it.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely a lot of buzz about the fact that he didn't do a pro day. This is Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not.
I don't like that. I don't like that look.
Medicals are questionable, but
Hey,
we'll see.
Not to interrupt you guys, but I got to go in and pick my food up now, so I'm going to hop off.
Troy, thanks for joining us.
Hey,
take care, buddy.
guys.
Peace.
bye, Troy.
What?
Yeah, so that's interesting. Why some people have him over Marvin Harrison. He's a good player, but I just don't think wide receiver wise you have him over Maserati.
We'll see. So what are your Patriots going to do, bud?
That's a good question because I've been saying this whole time they should go get JJ. Wouldn't be mad if they got Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't be mad if they took Jaden. Jaden's got a really good ceiling and a really good potential. But man, that just everything that says what we need as a quarterback and what a good quarterback coming out of the draft, everything just screams JJ. And if I don't like the look, yeah, Drake may had a good pro day, but his college film is just he's got an arm, but his reads, like short field reads, are just I don't trust it. I don't.
TJ, what are the Cowboys going to do?
Nothing.
What are your biggest holes?
I'm gonna ignore that net on the wall.
Nothing.
Honestly, I see them doing one of two things: is they're gonna drop off the first round completely, give up that draft pick. I think they're really aiming to bring Zeke back.
Why?
And I'm not a big fan of that, but that's been the buzz around Dallas. And a lot. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I would love to see them draft a new running back because Rico was it Dowdle or whatever that we have right now. It's not a bad running back. I don't think he's ready for that running back one position. Deuce Vaughn is like 5 foot nothing. Reminds me a little bit of Darren Sproles, fast, shifty. But again, he's not ready for that running back one. I would love to see them draft a running back one. That
What
would
about
be
that
don't
kid
have
out
to
of
hear that.
Texas? Jonathan Brooks.
He has a torn ACL.
Oh, that's
So
not bad.
unless he had it like magically fixed, I don't see him going anywhere. In all honesty, if they're going to pick something up, it would not shock me if they get a linebacker. They lost Leighton Vander Esch. The only person you truly have back there that you could put as a backer would be Micah Parsons, but they're going to solidify him as more of a DN, a strong inside DN. So they'll flip-flop him back and forth. I think the biggest mistake they had was last year picking up that dude Maz, whatever, from Michigan. The dude was a flop. He still is a flop. Terrible, terrible pass rusher. So, there's a lot of ways that they could go with this. I fingers crossed they go running back. They definitely need something. I don't, receiver wise, I think they're pretty good. I think what shook them the most was the fact that Stephon went to Houston. That was pretty big because Dallas was actually a good front runner for Diggs to reunite with his brother. And, that was going to be fun to watch is the Diggs brothers on one team, but Houston swept in. I mean, I don't blame him at all. It's a very good team to go to right now. So I think receivers out of the picture.
Yeah, that's something I wish we would have had a little bit more time to talk to Troy about on Stephon Diggs. He actually liked the departure, a little addition by subtraction with Stephon leaving his Bills. But yeah, it'll be fun. You guys want to do a live react show for nights 1 and 2 for the draft?
I'm always in. Of course,
you're down.
Sure.
I'm down. We'll open the floor to people too and see. We'll try to get a fan of every team that we can get a hold of our circle of people and see if we can get some good combo going.
So for all of our viewers, funny thing that came up today, I texted Marco and Brandon. Am I stupid to place a bet, $20 bet that Caleb Williams will be going first round? There's a guy at my shop.
That guy that said he wasn't is an idiot.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So
what
you guys,
the easiest $20 you ever made?
Do you want to know the full wager?
Yes.
It is $20 and lunch, whatever lunch I want.
Let's go. Team free food.
Dude, I'm about to rack up a nice bill of food.
Yeah. What a knucklehead. What is he? Why does he think that the Bears would like? I don't know. I mean, of all the talk in the months that have gone by and being here in Chicago, and at first, yeah, a lot of people were on the fence and they wanted to trade down. I still think that you have generational wealth where you can trade down and every year be faced with the same problem of you have 2 first-round picks. You have your first-round pick, and then you're going to have a top 10 pick because you're going to trade it to a crappy team that needs a quarterback and isn't in a position to win. But the Bears are not – they're not picking their crappy pick. They're picking Carolina's crappy pick. They're a 7-win team with a good defense, arguably the best linebacking core at the beginning of last season. Didn't really pan out that well, but they have their new edge rusher. They have another top 10 pick. Yeah, why don't you go get the stud and the ghost of Patrick Mahomes and drafting, Trubisky haunts them. So they're going to go for this. I still think they can still make a blockbuster move, but to think that the Bears aren't going to take Caleb now at this point is crazy.
That might be insiders saying that they don't do it.
But it doesn't. For me, it doesn't make sense.
Let me grab this for a second, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
It doesn't make sense for them to trade down from one. No. You have the first pick and you have the 8th pick. You have 2 top 10 picks. You can get your quarterback at 1, and then 2, if a wide receiver's there, you can get a 1 and 2 just like you did 1 and the defensive guy. So you could do that again.
Oh, with CJ Stroud and Anderson. When they did 2, it was like Houston 2-3.
Yeah, when Houston did that, you can do that, but you don't really. I mean, your thing is offense. You need to score. Like you can't score, so you could go
what are
quarterback.
The needs that Chicago needs, though? Like what positions
Obviously,
do they need?
QB.
I mean, of course, quarterback,
wide receiver,
duh.
quarterback, wide
But they
receiver.
need
Offensive
that
line.
number.
Would they pick
They
up
need
at
that
8?
number one receiver. If he
They need.
can.
Well, they have a good receiver. They finally put a good team around Justin Fields, and now they got rid of Justin Fields. But they have what they think is their tight end. They have a wide receiver with the guy they got from Carolina, Moore. They have everything that they need. They don't give up a lot of points. They have a lockdown corner. They're ready. They have a tenacious defensive rush. So they're ready right now. And if you can get them the best wide receiver available at 9, if you can get them Maserati, Marvin Harrison Jr., that's a jackpot. And then you're ready to go, and you open your window and you're like, we're going, not Super Bowl or bust this year, but definitely going to be,
at least
Bowl.
Wild card. Like, I think that's
you got to go for the division. The division is available. You got to be competitive, and you got to beat the Packers, and you got to, I think the Lions are. I don't want to say they're a flash in the pan. They're going to be competitive, but I don't have a lot of faith in them being, number one in the NFC next year. So they're there. They're in striking distance. The Bears are. The
one thing I kind of want to touch on, I was going to say it with Troy being here, and we were all just so happy to see Troy again. With the Chiefs and Rice, there's a lot of good name receivers that could kind of fulfill what Rashid Rice was, but what name, and I've said this from the get-go, has been really circled around this Chiefs like getting him late in the draft is Xavier Worthy.
Well, that's not a rumor. That's the mock draft name. Get down there in the late first round. That's their guy. If they don't trade up to do something, surprising, that's going to be their guy when their name.
Because I mean, and as much as I always say, like, I love watching any of the Texas players go wherever, and when they thrive, it's awesome to watch. I think if Worthy were to go to Kansas City, that's the best fit for him. I mean, the dude is a freak athlete. He's very small, so you put him at that slot receivers position, it's perfect for him. So, I would, if I saw his name go in Kansas City, I'm not going to shed a tear. But if he went to somewhere like freaking Oakland, I may jump out of this window.
Nah.
I mean, I wouldn't even dog on Oakland right now. I think they're actually building something, but not like going, but like they're bringing the Oakland or the Raiders name. They're not Oakland anymore. We're Vegas.
They're bringing the Raiders. They're bringing the old school Raiders back because Max Crosby's finally getting to where he needs to be.
And the head coach is bringing belief in these guys, and that's what you need in this locker room. That's why I think finally, like, we're gonna hopefully be on track with Mayo. Like in our situation, like there's guys that loved him, loved his personality, loves what he stands for, love what he's about, like, and like philosophy wise. And it's just like these teams that are getting these coaches, obviously Houston, like being able to do that and bring a whole group together as in your first year, like that's what I think the Raiders are building over there. It may take a little longer than, obviously Houston. Houston's like an anomaly. You don't see that happen. So,
well, I mean,
not that fast.
They got a king's ransom for Watson, and they put it together. I mean, that's football football GM 101. Like they did it,
and they literally just
they're doing it great. Yeah,
and they just stole Diggs for nothing.
CJ is the unicorn. He wasn't the first one picked in that draft, but he's definitely, now they're going to have tape on him. We'll see if they repeat the same way they stormed through their division, but they did it the right way. That's what you want in the team, Same way the Eagles do it, the same way the Chiefs do it. They got good GMs. The same way the Patriots have been doing it for 30 years,
Same way that Dallas cannot do it because their GM is just an asshat.
Hey, there you go.
Well, welcome to the Dallas. I thought about this. They really set the tone for where they were gonna, help Dak out when they signed Zeke to that huge contract, which should have been Dak's. A running back getting that much money, it should have been. You should have had your quarterback get that money first, and then your running back. Your running back, unfortunately, does not go over your QB when your QB just gave you a 13-3 season.
Well, see, and that's what I've been saying too. Dallas is not going to win a Super Bowl or division title. Well, okay, they had a division title last year, but they're not going to win a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones is 6 feet under.
No,
or,
I mean
they get rid of Dak Prescott,
or they get rid of Mike McCarthy.
No, they're not going to get rid of Dak.
They need to.
They won't get rid of Dak because I think
giving you 8 years for nothing.
They got to get rid of McCarthy. I think
a lot of quarterbacks have gone 8 years for nothing. And I'm going to tell you right now, even with Dak and how miserable everybody says he is for the Cowboys, I think he's probably up there in one of the best Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks I've seen play. Now, am I going to give him the number one spot? Hell no. Ain't nobody going to take over the number one spot from anybody. But Dak has still been one of the best quarterbacks to play for Dallas, and I will stand by that. Yes, has he had some miserable times and not been able to, pay it forward in championships and playoff wins? Of course, but you can't just put that on Dak.
Dak didn't give up.
Put that on Dak.
Dak didn't let the Packers run all over him.
You can't
exactly
you can't blame it all. But I've said it before. They need to get rid of McCarthy and they need to get rid of Dak. You have 8 years with Dak with proof. Can we sniff a championship game like an NFC? We're not talking Super Bowl. Can we sniff an NFC championship game? Like, can we do that in 8 years? If you are what we say you have been and have proven at time, can we at least get to an NFC championship? No.
Yes, with Dak they can.
He is not.
Yes, he is.
He's given you 8 years. What in these 8 years has he shown you that says, I'm going to give you a Super Bowl run? With the team he just had, you had 9 Pro Bowl players, and you can't get it done. Why? Because you have a quarterback that can't produce in the playoffs.
You can't
8 years of data. 8 years of data.
You can't put it all on the quarterback.
And I said wasn't putting it all on. I said McCarthy needs to go too. He's a big reason why too. But your quarterback is the man of the show. He runs he's why you pay him all that money to go out and produce, bring home rings. He has not done that. You're gonna waste your time if you don't move on him when you have the chance. And they have a chance now. Move on him. You could go get a quarterback. Go get freaking Bo from Oregon. Start over. You gotta get.
You want to replace Dak with Bo Nix.
You have to get rid of Dak sooner than later. I'm telling. There's 8 years of data. There's nothing.
All right. Well, we'll be on our live show, dissing the Cowboys and watching who our favorite teams take. We invite everybody who has a fandom out there. Where are our Rams fans at? Where's our Colts fans at? Where's our Jags fans at? Alan Williams, where's our Tennessee Titan fans at? We'll be calling on you guys for the NFL draft. Now we'll go and we'll sidestep to the attention-seeking whore that is Coach Calipari. After UConn wins the national championship, he goes tail between his legs to Arkansas. Now, as the resident Kentucky Wildcat fan here, as I said on Tuesday, they probably met, gave him a big fat envelope full of money, and said, you can invoke your clause to go interview with whoever you want and get the hell out of town. And that's what he did. So he didn't get fired. He gets to save face because he's Coach Cal, but I am happy for this change. Do you guys still think Kentucky is a blue blood, having not performed since 2012 in championship capacity and what they've shown up? Have they been replaced with the Villanovas and the UConns of the world? And do you think Coach Cal's just going to go? Do you think he can learn how to win in this new NCAA, or he's just going to start playing the players? Because he knows how to do that when you can't play the players. But now that everybody's playing the players, are down in Arkansas, Jerry Jones and Tyson Foods and Cowboy Capone going to send these guys all sorts of money to get these recruits and the NIL deals and do that? Is Arkansas now going to be, because they have no players on roster? I think they have one guy on roster. Are they going to be competitive right away, or what do you guys think the look of the SEC and NCAA is going to look like going with this new change?
I see this being kind of like Coach Prime when he left, Jackson State and went to Colorado. He's got luggage with him. So these kids that grew up, saying, "Hey, I want to play for Coach Cal," and that's been in their mindset since day one of them, touching a basketball, shooting a basketball, in their backyard, saying, "Hey, I'm playing for Coach Cal." They sign with Kentucky, and they're like, "Shit, he's gone. Where's he going to? Oh, he's going to Arkansas. All right, I'm going to follow him there." So I think that's what's going to happen is these kids that have been following Calipari, they're going to follow him to Arkansas. And I think what that's going to do is, I think that's going to make the blue blood now. If you see an influx of kids going into Arkansas is going to be the new blue blood.
You got to win some titles to become a blue blood. You don't just get the coach and his whole stable of assistants. Looks like all of his assistants, special assistant Bruiser Flint, and his son Brad Calipari are all going to be on staff at Arkansas. You don't just get to claim stake to that. Am I here? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I hear you.
You're here, but you're frozen.
I don't see myself.
Like your mic.
But
and I'm back. No,
he's gonna have like TJ said, he's gonna have the Coach Prime effect. I mean, he win. It's not like he doesn't win at Kentucky or didn't win in Kentucky. He just unfortunately couldn't get it done in March Madness. But he still wins. Like, you're still gonna get to the dance and have at least a chance, to go on a run. So I think he'll. Do I think he'll do it like right off? No, I think he'll have like obviously Prime in Colorado. The hype is there, but everybody still knows where the team is realistically until the year moving on and seeing what they do with him with the pieces that they have. So I think it'll work. I think it'll work out.
See, and I think as well, like with the SEC starting up and everything. With these new teams coming into the SEC, I'd like to see what Calipari can do with, Texas, OU. I think there's like 2 other teams coming into the SEC, or maybe it's just those 2 big ones that everybody talks about. He's used to SEC basketball, so can he adjust to a different school? And then when you go to Arkansas, everybody knows Arkansas more for their football. I mean, even their softball and baseball. So can he make that team and that organization a legit contender of like, hey, y'all know football, baseball, softball. All right, now we're gonna put basketball up there. I'm very excited to see what he can do. But like I said, I honestly think this is going to be a Coach Prime type of deal. His first year, he may grab a couple wins here and there, big name wins, I guess you can say, but then kind of like fizzle off towards the end. Like, do I think he's going to make the dance first year? No, but I would definitely love to see what he can do with that. So if he does bring some good talent with him, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. I'm also in the tank for the signing of Mark Pope, the new Kentucky Wildcats guy. It's going to be exciting. I think he has the ability to keep Reed Shepherd there, and he's got a great resume. He beat Kansas in Kansas. He's got he doesn't have the tournament wins that we need, but you got to he'll have more. I think he'll have more next year than Calipari does, and I think that's going to be the important thing.
I think they just had like a little snippet of him like tearing off his clothes. He has a Kentucky uniform on, and he spells out cash like really loud and like energetically. I'm like, okay, this is what they need. Like, you would never see Coach Cal ever do that. Yeah. If you ever saw him in a basketball uniform, like slim to none chance. The dude's probably 5 sheets through the fucking wall.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for it. All right, fellas. Well, we're $1.25 into this show. Special guest. Anything else you guys are in the tank for? You guys want to mention anything going on this weekend? What are you guys looking forward to? Cool.
That,
All right. Busy weekend.
I think the one thing I'm looking forward to is, so for springtime, it's lacrosse season here in Maryland, and the biggest lacrosse game in this area right now is the Army-Navy lacrosse game. So both men's and women's play this weekend. Women's are projected to beat the living snot out of the Lady Knights, and when men go up to West Point, they're probably going to get bent over. So I'm watching a doubleheader today, tomorrow, actually.
Cool. B, what's up with you?
I don't know. I'm really interested about this UFC 300 that's going to go down. This is going to be sick. Like, all the players got Dana to go from 50,000 their bonuses to bumped it up to 300,000. That's like a huge thing for that sport.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. Then there's a lot of big names on this card too. So
why was the Max Holloway fight canceled? Do we know?
Couldn't tell you, to be honest. Couldn't tell you.
Okay. I just pulled it up real quick to
see. And the
what...
Masters too. I mean, Tiger made cut. He's 24.
Oh,
24.
Did Tiger make the cut?
Oh yeah, he made the cut. He's got the highest now. And he said he's only 8 shots back. Like, it's the Masters. Like,
he can do it.
Nobody's gonna run away from this thing. You know, they're not fucking 1999 Tiger Woods. Like,
well, look at my pinned tweet on X. I said Tiger Woods is going to win another Masters. That would be 2020.
Him tying Jack Nicklaus and then him just like riding off into the sunset.
I think that's his goal. I think that is his end goal, is to win. Is to
tie Jack. That would be fantastic. I'd also really like to see Roy. He's far down. He doesn't really. I mean, he's played decent golf, but the other thing that I think is a total boss move is Bryson DeChambeau. Right, is I think leading, or he's 1 shot back of the lead. He is playing with a 3D printed clubs, irons and putter. Irons and putter that got approved by PGA before the tournament, and he shot what was it, 69, I think, something crazy in the first round with these 3D clubs, like just coming out and be like, hey, I'm just made these over this weekend, and now I'm leading the Masters right now and playing phenomenal. That's the most Bryson DeChambeau thing I've ever seen in my life.
This makes me want to go to the driving range.
Obviously, the PGA approved it.
Yeah, all right.
They approved the club, so they have to obviously inspect it and make sure that everything's legit. And they approved it. And
interesting.
Yeah, that if there was anybody that was going to do that, it'd be this guy, a guy that can just absolutely nuke on a ball.
Hey, drive for show, putt for dough, buddy.
Hey, I mean,
just a heads up.
Iconic show.
So I'm watching. So I've got MLB the app, and the Brewers are smacking the living crap out of the Orioles right now, 7-1.
Whoa.
And where'd it go? Somebody said that so Colton Cowser, he's just a hot mess right now. Like, this dude is just on hot. Dude, yeah, you can say fuck him.
He's literally seeing the ball like a beach ball. Like, there's nowhere we can put the. He can reach the outside of the plate. Stop touching it.
And 0 for 9 so far for our boy Jackson.
Oh my gosh,
dude's not doing too hot right now.
He's going back down. Yes, he's not ready.
I don't think back down.
He's not ready.
If he doesn't produce, I want to say I give him a month. If he is not producing in a month, they will bring him back down and say, okay, you need a little bit more games in you. I think you only played what, maybe a double digit, like 10 games or something, if that, in the minors. So like, yeah, I give it a month. If not, then he'll stay down there probably mid-season or whatever in hopes that he gets better. And if not, well,
All right.
he's not what he was.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool.
Cubbies are on the West Coast, so I get to take a nap before the 8:40 first pitch. They're playing the Mariners.
How'd you feel about that?
Yeah.
blowout?
I mean,
Jeez.
yeah, it's early. It's early.
Kind of like the Houston too. Oh my goodness.
So Houston and the Rangers are playing again. Okay, and it's tied 1-1. Kyle Tucker hit a home run, but Garcia also hit a home run. So I think this is gonna be a home run fest right now.
Yeah. We'll see. What's yeah. So, well, one of the things I
Angels are
want
beating the Red Sox.
Oh, scoreboard update.
Yeah, we are not playing good at
5-0
at all.
Braves are beating the Marlins. Reds are beating the White Sox. Mets are beating the Royals.
How many
Rockies are
games have
beating
the Marlins?
Blue
The
Jays.
Marlins have won what? 2 games. There was a situation.
2-11.
There was a situation that me and my dad were planning out. There was the Marlins were on pace because they hadn't won a game to set the record set by your Orioles of 21 consecutive losses to start an MLB season. Here in Chicago, we were going to go to those games where they would have set the record and broke the record, but alas, we don't have to worry about that. But
Yeah, so we got Tigers up 1-0. Pittsburgh's beating Philly, and then the Rays are beating the Giants. And then of course we have the Athletics tonight against the Nats, the Mariners and the Cubs. That should be a very good game to watch. D-backs and Cardinals. We've got the Dodgers and Padres, and then the Guardians and the Yankees are postponed.
all right, that's your scoreboard update.
So, scoreboard update, y'all.
All right, fellas. The one thing that I wanted, is this going to work?
Good morning, Vietnam.
All right, it is a little bit later in the morning for Vietnam, but a news update. Brandon, I don't know if you heard this because I started going on about it before I hit the go live button, but there is somebody in Vietnam that has been sentenced to death in her role in a $27 billion fraud scheme. And that is her penalty. She's going $27 billion. I am in the tank for fraud.
Shit.
I love a good Ponzi scheme. You set me up with some good stuff. $27 billion of fraud, and she's gonna die. She's gonna die.
She gonna die.
Billion. We're not just talking a little bit of money here. Like, how do you get away?
That's a
with
lot of fucking money.
$27 billion.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is
What?
crazy.
How old is this woman?
She is not very old, and not very young either. It's not like a crypto screen, not a crypto scheme that's some millennial pulled off. But she was definitely in cahoots with I think she was like a CEO of a bank, and she was a big businesswoman, and she had these crazy bonds that she was selling people. Just standard Ponzi scheme type stuff, but also had a lot of bribes for the state-run banks that are out there. They do things differently out there in different countries, but yeah, she definitely got caught with her hand in the cookie jar, and they're going to cut it off and her head as well. So yeah, she was married to a
firing squad.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
like I think her whole family got arrested. Like, of course, she got a lot of people that are involved with this, but she was like married to a bank businessman. She was. Yeah, she was in it. She was in it deep.
In it. She was living, man.
$27 billion.
She was living life.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So anyway, so that's all the talk of the town in Vietnam. 7:30 this morning. That's what they're doing over there. But yeah, craziness. All right, fellas. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining the show. Don't forget to hit the what's happening. Why?
Good night, brothers.
Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you Tuesday, TJ. Talk to you guys Tuesday.
So turn your back on the wolf pack. You might wind up in a body